Allow speed safety cameras to be piloted in some California cities cleared a major hurdle this week. AB 645 cleared the Appropriations Committee and will head to the Assembly floor for a vote. If passed and signed by the governor, the bill would allow automated cameras in 6 cities, including Oakland, San Jose, and San Francisco. The cameras would be allowed to go up in school zones and high-risk intersections. For more tonight, we are joined by the bill's co-author, Assemblyman Marc Berman. Assemblymember, certainly appreciate the time. This pilot has failed before. The bill has failed before, but is now headed to the floor. Why do you believe your peers think now is the right time for this action?
It's a great question, and I think my colleagues are realizing that speeding, traffic fatalities, traffic accidents are going up. And then this is while communities are paying more and more attention to these issues and trying to drive the numbers down. And so the fact that we're putting more attention into speeding and traffic fatalities, and yet more people are doing it and more people are getting injured and killed, means that we really need to use all the resources at our disposal to try to make our communities safer.
Yeah, Assemblymember, we have seen family members of pedestrians killed in traffic collisions speaking in support of this bill. Can you talk about the other support you have received?
It's getting, this is a wildly popular effort with a lot of the communities across California. 6 cities have been identified in the pilot, but more cities than that want to participate. We're trying to keep the focus a little narrower as we hopefully are able to test out the technology and get good data back on whether or not it's making our communities safer. But bicycle advocates, community safety advocates, folks who are worried about the increases in traffic fatalities and injuries and speeding in communities really want to see this effort be successful.
Yeah, Assembly members, we did say this bill has failed before and faces opposition from the ACLU and others. They have privacy concerns about these cameras. How do you respond to that?
Yeah, we've been very intentional in putting policies in the bill to make sure that there's no facial recognition, no facial identification, that any images that are captured are totally erased and deleted. There are different timelines depending on whether or not you were found to be speeding or not. But it's important to note this is technology that's been used around the country and around the world for 40 years. So this isn't new, but it has been proven to be effective. And it's about time that California start deploying it in certain communities, especially in certain high-risk zones, school zones, areas that have data that show that they're high-speed zones, to make sure that our communities are safer than they are right now.
Yeah, Assemblymember, when you speak about those communities, there are also equity concerns about where these cameras might be placed, further impacting communities of color. How do you mitigate those?
Yeah, it's a very important issue and a very important question that we're very focused on. And for example, it's important to note that for people who get caught speeding with a speed camera, you do not get a point on your record. The maximum fine the likely fine is $50. And if you only make a certain amount of income, then that fine can get reduced by 80%, or you can do community service as a way to offset any fine that you receive. The fines go up the faster you're going. But if you're only going, it only kicks in at 11 miles over the speed limit, and that first fine is $50. And so it's really a very narrowly targeted policy to try to address the speeding that's happening too often in our communities.
Yeah, and again, would impact school zones and high-risk traffic intersections if passed. Assemblymember Marc Berman, we have to leave it there. We certainly appreciate your time. We will continue to watch this bill as it progresses.
Thank you, Greg.